Welcome to VOP News Update. I'm Moses Humphrey. Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal (PEPT) has affirmed the victory of Bola Tinubu in the the 2023 presidential election. Well, the PEPT dismissed the petitions filed by the Allied People's Movement (APM), Labour Party (LP), and People's Democratic Party (PDP), challenging the election of the president. The court, after faulting the petitions of the parties, affirmed the declaration of Tinubu as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, delivering judgment on PDP's petition on whether the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) was right to return to Tinubu as duly elected by the majority of lawful votes cast. The tribunal held that the petitioner did not prove the allegations on this ground, and indeed all the grounds in their petition. On the issue of Tinubu's conviction and the issue of his dual citizenship, the court held that these issues were incompetent and liable to be struck out. The same were indeed struck out. President Bola Tinubu has welcomed the verdict of the Presidential Elections Court Tribunal in Abuja. Tinubu therefore assured Nigerians of his renewed and energized focus on delivering his vision of a unified, peaceful, and prosperous nation. The presidential spokesman, Ajirin Galali, disclosed this in a statement yesterday. The president therefore urged his valiant challengers to inspire their supporters in the trust that the spirit of patriotism will now and forever be elevated above partisan considerations, manifesting into support for our government to improve the livelihood of all Nigerians. Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has ended its two-day warning strike, directing its members to resume work today, September 7. Now, this was contained in a press statement signed by its president, Joe Ajero. The Congress described the participation of its affiliate unions in the just concluded two-day warning strike as a show of undaunted and resilient commitment to defend Nigerian workers against man-made economic hardship. While praising all the affiliate unions for massively participating in the strike action, NLC charged the unions to stand by for the indefinite industrial action if the federal government refuses to take effective action to ameliorate the sufferings of workers occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy. President Bola Tinubu yesterday commended Indian investors for significant investment pledges amounting to nearly $14 billion. The amount was staked during the Nigeria-India Presidential Roundtable and Conference in New Delhi, India. Among these many new investments, Indorama Petrochemical Limited has pledged a new investment of $8 billion in the expansion of its fertilizer production and petrochemical facility in Eleme, River State. Jindal Steel and Power Limited, one of India's largest private steel producers, has committed to investing $3 billion in Nigeria, following discussions with President Tinubu on the sidelines of the G20 summit in New Delhi, India. Founding president of Skipper Seal Limited, Jitendra Sakdeva, announced that following President Tinubu's personal intervention, he is investing $1.6 billion in the establishment of 100 megawatts power generation plants across the states of northern Nigeria, amounting to 2,000 megawatts of new power within the next 4 years. Additionally, the president has approved finalization on a new $1 billion agreement to bring the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DICON, to 40% self-sufficiency in local manufacturing and production of defense equipment in the country by 2027 through a comprehensive new partnership with the managing arm of the military industrial complex of the Indian government. Another Indian firm, Bharti Enterprise, which is a major first-generation corporation in India with interest in telecom, space communications, digital solutions, insurance, processed foods, real estate, and hospitality, has expressed its commitment to invest an additional $700 million in Nigeria, with work set to begin immediately, emphasizing that under his pragmatic leadership, agreements must now manifest in industries and jobs on the ground in Nigeria. The president expressed gratitude to all Indian companies and individuals who have responded positively to his administration's efforts to improve Nigeria's macroeconomic and investment climate. Prospective investors were informed by the president that in Nigeria there is no free lunch or shortcuts, but that he has good economic policy for the investors as well as able men and women in leadership and on the ground who can drive the goal of broad prosperity through investment and infrastructure. The president also told the summit that he is proud that the Nigerian stock market had broken records in its consistent bullishness since he assumed office. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Adu, who addressed the roundtable, thanked Navin Jindal, chairman of Jindal Steel and Power Limited, for the new $3 billion investment in iron ore processing and steel development in Nigeria. In business now, the federal government yesterday has announced an increase in the price of single-phase and three-phase prepaid electricity meters and declared that the hike takes effect from September 6. It announced this in an order released by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and jointly signed by the Commission's chairman, Sanusi Garba, and its commissioner, Legal, Licensing and Compliance, Dafi Akbeneye. In the order, the government stated that a single-phase meter would now cost 81,975 naira from the previous price of 58,661 naira, while the price of a three-phase meter was raised to 143,866 naira from 109,684 naira. This was, however, kicked against by power consumers who wondered why the federal government had continued to hike the cost of various commodities in Nigeria's energy sector. But explaining why it hiked the cost of the meters, the NERC stated that it was to ensure a fair and reasonable pricing of meters to both meter asset providers and end-use customers. It noted that the hike would ensure meter asset providers' ability to recover reasonable costs associated with meter procurement and maintenance, while ensuring that their pricing structure allowed a viable return on investment. It stated that the closure of the metering gap for end-use customers was fundamental to the financial sustainability of the Nigeria electricity supply industry, as end-use meters provide revenue assurance to both the utility and their end-use customers. In foreign news, the Ukrainian military disclosed that its air defenses destroyed 25 of 33 drones that Russia used to attack the Sumy and Odessa regions overnight. The regional governor of Odessa, Ole Kiper, stated that the Russian attack hit the Izmail area for the fourth time in 5 days, injuring one person. Kiper noted that the attack also damaged port infrastructure facilities and an administrative building. Russia's defense ministry also stated that it destroyed 2 Ukrainian drones over the Rostov region, as well as one in Bryansk and another on the outskirts of Moscow. Moscow's mayor, Sergio Sobyanin, mentioned on Telegram that debris from a downed drone landed in the Ramenskoye district but did not cause any damage or casualties. At least 17 persons were killed and nearly 3 dozen more injured in a Russian assault yesterday on the central market in the eastern Ukraine city of Kostiantynivka. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the attack, saying a market, shops, and a pharmacy were hit in the industrial city close to the current front lines of the battlefield, about 30 kilometers from the city of Bakhmut, where there has been heavy combat for months. Ukrainian Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko posted pictures showing rescue workers sifting through the rubble and carrying out bodies in black sacks. Well, that's the news update on VOP TV. We'd like you to subscribe and engage us on YouTube. It's Voice of the People TV. And on other social media channels, we are at VOP TV Live. I'm Moses Humphrey. Good morning.